Hi, I'm Laura, and welcome back to the Tarot Genie, where you receive intuitive insights from the tarot to your burning questions about business, career, creativity, entrepreneurship, personal development, and more. Would you like to learn how to live fearlessly, or at least have less fear in certain areas of your life where you are experiencing this? Well, that's what we're going to ask the tarot today, how to transcend fear in a particular area of your life, to live more fearlessly. As I'd like to share with you, as was brought up in the theme of the Daily Word today when I'm filming this, and the theme was, I choose to live fearlessly. And I'd like to share with you a quotation that they said was from Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt famously said, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face." I really love that. Now, I usually recommend a book from my library that is related to the theme of the reading. I couldn't find one today that really I felt aligned with this. However, I do recall many years ago reading the book, and probably many of you have heard of it. I think it was published 30, maybe even 40 years ago, perhaps. It was called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And so that's a book that might be useful to reinforce this theme. I really can't recall how good it was. I just know it was very famous. But if I do come across another book in my library today or tomorrow, I will put that in the notes. But think of that book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, or at least go by the theme. That's going to be our theme today. I've also today shuffled the cards in advance to save a little bit of time. So the first card represents the situation, what you need to know about this fear. And the card that showed up was the Strength card, reversed. Wow, now this is significant. Not only it's a major arcana card, meaning has extra importance, extra energy, because it's more archetypal type of energy. Now when it's upright, I always love the Strength card. It's an 8 card signifying power just on its own numerologically. However, I always enjoy looking at this brilliant yellow background suggesting illumination, and this gentle young maiden who somehow is fearlessly closing the mouth of the lion and seemingly taming him with just a very gentle touch. She's not struggling, there's no sense of struggle. However, given that the card was reversed when I selected it, this suggests that the situation of how to go about living fearlessly is to realize that you have a tremendous inner strength, tremendous inner power that you are not that's not activated at the moment, or that you are repressing somehow, that you're not fully recognizing. That's what the Strength card reversed, in my opinion, suggests. It's saying this is where you are, why you haven't been living fearlessly, is that you're not fully activating your power or recognizing it, but you truly do have internal strength. So start recognizing that now. The second card represents the suggested recommended action to take. And this is the Hangman reversed, another reverse major arcana card. That is quite interesting. When upright, we see the Hangman is hanging upside down on a tree. What's always interesting to me is he's got this aura around his head, suggesting he's somehow tapping into a strong intuitive force or wisdom. However, this card appeared in the reverse position, and the Hangman to me can represent being stuck in a particular situation, being in limbo, or taking on a new perspective. Now, given that we're asking for what do we need to do to live fearlessly, I believe that Hangman reverse is saying, well, we need to not only change our perspective, but we've got to get out of this limbo state. Somehow we've got to tap into some specific actions to overcome the fear. Now, one of the particular actions, as the title of the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, is saying maybe you just need to go out and do it. Now, this is easier said than done, And again, looking at this reverse, it can be easier said than done. But one point I'd like to make about this image that might help with that, that's coming to my mind, is remembering to have a passion. These red tights of this man always represents passion for me, that fire energy. And you may need to decide to get on fire, saying, you know, I've got to turn this weakness or this fear into power. And there is a way of doing it by tapping into that passion. And also it almost seems that this golden aura to me represents kind of also tapping into the intuition, is getting a glow with the universal wisdom. Look, turning within. He has turned within since it's upside down. He's already hanging upside down. Now that it's a reverse card, it's a little bit tricky with the hangman interpreting this reversed. What just is jumping out at me with this particular image is actually taking a stand, because because it's reversed, he's standing up in the position. So it's taking a stand to transcend this fear and putting your passion into it and realizing it may just be a limiting belief that you were raised with, that somehow was inculcated into you by the media, by your school system, whatever the case may be, by factors external to you, by forces that are external to you. But you need to stand up and take a stand and say, okay, even though it's easier said than done, you have to make a decision to cut off other possibilities, saying you need to face this fear and start moving forward. And when the card is reversed, you really can see that it's almost as if he's dancing. So maybe dance into your fear. Just feel the fear and do it anyway. Move forward and just get that, maybe start dancing, get activated with music, something that energizes you so that you can move forward toward your goal and to transcend that particular obstacle. So that's what I would say that this hangman is representing as the suggested action, the hangman reverse. Take a stand, tap into your intuition, realize you've got inner power. And you can be on fire with your purpose that'll allow you to move forward. That's what people do in Toastmasters International, which is a public speaking group a public speaking organization rather, it's worldwide, to help people overcome their fear of speaking. The way they do it is by just doing it. They come to the meetings, they sign up for speeches, and just the practice of making the speeches consistently helps them overcome the fear. And it truly does. I've been a member for 38 years now. Before I was even born, haha. But I've seen so many people go through it who stayed with it for a while, and I've seen them go from fear into fantastic. So take a stand, turn around, dance into your fear. And finally, if you do that, what's the likely outcome? Wow, 3 major arcana cards and all reversed. This is amazing. I don't know, I shuffled these cards as usual. What does this suggest? The Hierophant reversed as a major outcome. Well, the Hierophant, number 5, is a major arcana, is a strong card, represents an authoritative figure in the church, it would seem. And there's just all kinds of, this card to me is very structured. They've got these 2 strong pillars. We have the 2 little monks on either side. This card's been popping up recently in a number of my readings. And the Hierophant is atop this chest with some keys, suggesting keys of knowledge, I don't know. And he has his hand in the benediction. And he popped up a few weeks ago in a reading. Today he appears reversed in answer to the question, what's the likely outcome of taking a stand, getting on fire? Well, for me, this is suggesting you really will have that inner strength and inner authority and inner confidence that you just have a firm capability to face your fear. And it may be confidence rather, backed by faith, because this represents a religious figure. Now, you don't have to be religious, but it could be faith in the universe, faith in yourself, but you're going to have an inner strength. That. Now it's interesting because sometimes when I showed you earlier, the strength card reverse suggesting that, well, you do have inner strength, but maybe it's stymied. The reversals can represent a variety of things depending on the card position and the answer and the question asked. I believe that since this is the likely outcome, it's suggesting also to me that not only do you have that inner authority, but perhaps it's also advising you that you'll be free of traditional constraints that may have been on you. Now that's another way of looking at it. Perhaps the traditional constraints, that you will be free of traditional rules and regulations. So that is what I would say. Now, given this card, I think I would like to just choose one other card to clarify that briefly, just to see the Hierophant, because it's a little puzzling to me, the Hierophant, but let's just ask one more time and wrap this reading up. It's one card sticking out, so what we need to know about the Hierophant. The Justice card. I can't believe how many major arcanas or cards are appearing today. This suggests to me that, clarifying the Hierophant, saying you will be strong. You will be moving from weakness into power. The Justice card is powerful. There's a balance with it as represented by the scales here. There's strength of conviction represented by the sword, and the authority represented by the crown. Also the illumination there. And this particular individual is very regal looking. It's suggesting that, okay, the Hierophant, maybe you will be able to move away from maybe fear of tradition, etc., or rules that might not have applied to you, but you are indeed going to be a powerhouse once you take the action, taking a stand for what you believe and what you know is important to you, to just dissolve the fear. As usual, I will be recommending a selection of music to amplify and underscore the particular points made in today's reading. And I will also add a recommended book in addition to Feel the Fear and Fear It Anyway. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. And remember to illumine your mind, inspire your life with the tarot. Until next time.